We do start here in Washington with President Biden saying that he will meet with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy tomorrow and try to reach a deal on the debt limit just ahead of that looming deadline. President Biden saying that he's feeling optimistic about negotiations, although the House and Senate are only in session for 4 days between now and June 1st, when Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the government could default on its debt. ABC's Jay O'Brien joining me now from Capitol Hill. So, Jay, another meeting tomorrow, so does it mean we're getting any closer to a deal?
Yeah, and we just had a little bit of breaking news here. So Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, just walked right here through this hallway, and our colleague, Rachel Scott, was with him. And just before you came to me here on camera, I was speaking with Rachel, and she was telling me what the Speaker told her, because I was standing here as he walked by. And from what the Speaker says, he does not believe there has been substantive progress in these negotiations, and said that staff is only swapping paper back and forth. The proposals are not something that anyone has yet coalesced around. That is obviously a different read than what we're getting from the White House, who says that they believe because staff have been working behind the scenes on this issue over the course of last week, over the course of this weekend, up to today, the White House says they view that as a sign of substantial progress and the belief that the deal might be near. But certainly the Speaker of the House, the other side of this deal here, just moments ago, saying he is not of that opinion, guys, as we go into that meeting of the president and the other principals here tomorrow.
So the meeting comes just one day before the president now heads to Japan for the G7 summit. So, I mean, it doesn't sound like this deal can get done from the other side of the world.
Yeah, and the question is, what does that trip do to this deal? Does that trip hold? Also, keep in mind, there are 4 days left of both houses of Congress being in, the House and the Senate, both working, because over the next few weeks, the House is in and then the Senate is in, but the House is out and the Senate is out, vice versa. They don't work at the same time over the next few weeks over the course of this month into June. And so the question becomes, is there enough time in the legislative calendar, even if there is a deal, to get this across the goal line? And that's one of the reasons why you heard Speaker McCarthy last week tell reporters he believes a deal needs to be reached by this week in order to get it across the goal line. But is that a reasonable conclusion? Will that really happen? That is very much unclear, Kira.
So are any spending cuts on the table at this point?
Well, the question is how much is really on the table? Because keep in mind, remember, the White House consistently said for months that they were not going to negotiate over the debt ceiling because they believed the debt ceiling was too important to tie spending cuts to. And then, of course, we saw that meeting not long ago between President Biden and other congressional leaders, including Speaker McCarthy. And then we know that these staff meetings and these staff negotiations have been going on since that meeting. So what are they debating? What spending cuts could they agree on? That is very much unclear, but it looks as if the White House is potentially negotiating here. Of course, it's not clear what's going on behind closed doors. There may be some agreement around clawing back unspent COVID funds. There also is potentially some agreement in terms of work requirements for various federal aid programs, although the president's saying over the weekend, well, he might be in favor of that. He's not in favor of tying any additional requirements, work requirements, to things like Medicaid. So we're waiting to tomorrow to see if the proof is in the pudding and there is some kind of agreement, if the principals can emerge from that meeting saying we agree on this, but maybe we don't agree on that. But again, how far they are along in these talks, that is unclear. And to reiterate what we were just saying, Kevin McCarthy is saying he does not believe they are far along at all, Kira.
Okay, stay tuned. Jay O'Brien up on the Hill for us. Thanks, Jay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.